Hey guys, Waterfowler41 here, and today we are installing some cab lights on top of my brother-in-law's 2017 Chevy Silverado. So these are from Cab Over America. They are the smoked version. They come in 3 colors, so smoked, clear, and amber. And the unique thing about these lights is they're 100% wireless. So what that means is we're not sinking screws through the roof of the truck to mount these to the actual truck, and then we're not also drilling the holes to run the wires for the typical cab lights. So these use a battery powered pack that charges itself via a little PV panel on the back, and we'll open up one in a second. But basically what you get in the kit is 5 clearance lights, and then you get 2 remotes, some measuring tape, and then some amber diffusers for the LEDs on the inside. So I went ahead and took the 2 little nuts off of one of the clearance lights so we could take a look at the LED on the inside of it. So essentially what the whole assembly is you got your lens, you got the base plate, it's just an aluminum piece of metal with some 3M stick tape on it. You got your gasket, which allows everything to seal down. And then at the heart of everything is this LED module. And what you're looking at is a PV panel on top of it, so it's a solar panel, so it's going to charge itself when there's daylight out. And then you have the LED up in front. And once it sits down inside that gasket, the LED is fixed, it's not going to move, and it's there to shine right in front of it. Alright, so these LEDs have 3 modes that they operate in. And you get 2 remotes to control them, so you obviously only need one at a time. So the first mode is low mode, so that's low output. If you're driving at night, this is more than sufficient. You turn that off. Next mode, strobe. Turn that off. Next mode is high output, so during the daytime or kind of a full moon kind of night, you're going to want the high output, or if you prefer to drive around this is the output you're going to go with. So what you get in the kit, other than the amber diffusers, is also a special measuring tape, and we'll go over that in a little bit. Basically, it zeroes out in the middle of the truck, and then you're able to space these out accordingly. So without further ado, we're going to get to installing those cab lights on top of the truck. So just to kind of give you a head idea, so essentially the lights are going to be mounted about that high up on the truck. We're going to measure things, we're going to play around with it for a little bit, but before we start doing any sort of measurements up here, we're going to go ahead and wipe everything down with some isopropyl alcohol, just to kind of prep the surface. Then, since it's a little bit cooler, we're probably going to get out the heat gun, so when it comes time for adhering these to the actual truck, we're going to blast them with heat so the tape is a little bit tackier and everything sticks a little bit cleaner. So let's get started. Alright, so we went ahead and wiped everything down with isopropyl alcohol. Then the next step from there is to mark the center line of the windshield. Now, a couple things on that. One, get yourself a dry erase marker or a little kid's marker, because what you can do is you mark your paint and then you can wipe it off afterwards. So what we did is we measured from the corner of the windshield to the other corner, divided that in half, and that gave us about 26 7/8. So the mark's there. Now the other thing that we did is we mocked up the lights, and we found that we want to basically make the lights, the front of the light, 4 inches from the top of the windshield. So our center line mark, make sure that is below 4 inches. That way you can still see it. Because the next step here is we're going to tape the flexible tape from cab over, and we're going to stick that tape to the top of the windshield, so that helps us space out the lights. Now what's unique about this is this tape is 0 center. So this 0 center is going to line up with our mark on the top of the windshield, and then we're going to pull the tape taut, and that'll at least give us a little bit of a grid to place the lights. Alright, so we pulled a little bit of an audible and changed our plan here. So basically what we do is we pulled apart the whole light itself, and we're using just the base plate because we have some solid measuring points on there, and with the gasket and everything in the way, we just weren't precise as we wanted to be. So we took the gasket, we took the lens, and took the LED off. All we have left is this plate. So what we did is measured 4 inches again, or I'm sorry, without the gasket and everything, now we're going 4.5 inches from the top of the windshield to the stud. And then also on this side, 4.5 inches from the gutter to each of the studs. What that'll do is line it up essentially right here. I took my marker and marked up everything on there, and that gives us placement. Now the other thing we did is put a little bit of a curve into the base plate, so everything cinches down pretty nicely. Alright, so we got the first base plate mounted. So basically what I did is, again, 4.5 inches off the gutter for both of the studs, and then 4.5 inches from the top of the windshield, and that was able to locate my first one. So we put a little bit of a curve in that metal base plate, which allowed it to contour a little bit better to the top of the truck. So now once that is installed, go and throw that bad boy on there and everything fits nice and flush. Then we'll put this guy on there. Everything's cinched down and it looks perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and do that far side one, then we'll do the center one and then the two outside ones. So let's get rolling on those. All right, so we got the two sides on and then we went ahead and put the center light on. So again, we broke it down to just the little metal panel on the bottom, and then we measured from this stud to the outside stud and then did the same thing on the other side. So kind of a quick note, have a buddy help you out with this. I don't think there's really an easy way to get this stuff centered if it was just one person doing it. Two people definitely makes this job a hell of a lot easier. So the next thing we're gonna do is put on the two center ones. So like I was saying earlier, he wants the two middle center lights to be closer to the center than evenly spaced. So I guess you got infinite number of options, but with the shark fin here, we thought it looked a little too crowded having, you know, everything evenly spaced across the top. So what we're gonna do is go about 7 inches from this light out to here. And again, we're going 4.5 inches to the metal stud from the top of from the glass of the windshield. So that'll locate it again the same distance here and here. We're using the markers nonstop, and this is all washable stuff. So after we're done here, you can run it through the car wash, get all that marker off there. But the marker is extremely helpful because what you could do is draw lines on each of the panels, and then you just basically aim those guys and then you place it. But what we've been doing is curving the metal a little bit. So I think you can see it there. That kind of helps it contour a little bit better. The gaskets are really forgiving, as are the lenses, but you really want that metal to contour to the car. Once you do that, heat it up, follow your little guidelines, and then slap the puppy on. So we're gonna do these two outside ones, and then we're good to go. All right, so like I said, we had the center one placed, and we just measured out the outside center pieces. So for these, we went 4.5 inches from the glass to the stud, and then we drew a line, and that line lines up with the bottom of the metal mounting plate. Then what we did is we went stud to stud on the front and back, so that way everything is angled properly and even with each other. So we went 7.5 inches from that stud to the front stud, and then from the backs. So that'll line these things up in a row, but they'll also follow the curvature of the windshield. So 7.5 inches to these guys, 7.5 to those guys, 4.5 here, and then we're good to go to mount it. All right, so we got all 3 of the mounting plates installed. So just a quick recap, I know I already went over this, but just to cover it again, 4.5 inches from the top of the glass to the front stud on all of the brackets, and then 4.5 inches from the inside of the rain gutter to here, to the front and back. So basically what that did is it allows this light to kind of follow the contours of the truck. So it's not straight head on, it kind of curves a little bit with the edge of the windshield. So it gives it a nice kind of, again, a nice chamfered look. This is spot on with center. So the 2 studs are centered front to back with that center mark 26 and I think it's 26 3/4 in the middle there. Then we went 7.5 inches from the front stud to the back studs. So 7.5 here, 7.5 there, and then everything's done, good to go. So really just to reinstall these guys, it's just slipping the rubber over there. You gotta pull it a little bit since we bent the metal mounting brackets. Then we're gonna throw our LED in there. That sits down there. We're gonna mount the back, then the front, then we're gonna tighten up the screws. So there it is. All right, so we are done and everything's buttoned up. There are the 5 cab over America lights. So again, with our layout, instead of going evenly spaced across the whole top of the roof, we went with the 3 heavy in the center and then the 2 on the outside. 4.5 inches off the top of the windshield, 4.5 inches from the rain gutter, and then 7.5 inches between the center lights. So without further ado, probably the area, you wanna hit the light over there? All right, so got strobe mode. We got high. And our favorite, the low mode. And I think this complements the lights well on the truck. So just to give you a quick glance, so we have the Boost Auto tow mirrors on here. They have the white white marker lights on the side. So I think these look very well. They match perfectly. So overall, I'm very happy with these. So about 400 bucks. I'll have the link down in the description below. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Got a few more videos coming at you. But again, these are the Cab Over America wireless clear cab lights, and they are by far the easiest to install cab lights and the least destructive ones. So, you know, when he ultimately sells this truck, the cab lights can come with him if he's so inclined. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Bye.